Greetings, a warm welcome to another interesting edition of our breakfast program, Good Morning Abia. Good Morning Abia is a current affairs program of MCL TV, and it's coming to you live from our studios here in Abia, the commercial capital of Abia State. My name is Chimezia Ozems. I want to thank you for joining us on today's edition of the program. And today, I'm co-presenting this program with my colleague, Stella Okechukwu. Stella, good morning.
Good morning, Chimezia Ozems. Good morning, Abians. Thanks for joining us on today's Good Morning Abia, your one-stop breakfast show on MCL TV.
Thank you, Stella. At this point, I want to say a few things before we commence the program proper. This morning, all of us are aware of the effect of climate change, and I'm talking about incessant fire outbreaks. I'm appealing that when you are leaving your house in the morning, please unplug all appliances, and if you are a trader at the close of business every day, please don't store petrol or any other flammable liquid in your store, because when the temperature is very high, it may ignite fire and there will be fire outbreak. You will lose everything, and there is so much poverty in the land, so we must be very, very careful with what we have. We must guide it jealously. On that note, we are now going over to the Words on Marble segment.
And on the Words on Marble this morning, even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there. I'll take that again. Even if you are on the right track, you will get run over if you just sit there.
That beautiful quote came from Will Rogers, which means that if you are on the right track, you must continue to move. You cannot be static. You cannot be stagnant in whatever you are doing. Even if you are doing something good, keep on moving. Don't stay at a place. Remember that nature abhors vacuum. So if you are at a place, another person who is in front may take your position. So even if you are on the right track, you are doing something good. Everybody is appreciating what you are doing. Keep on moving. Don't be static. There is always room for improvement, Stella. Yes,
just to add to what you just said, you need to aspire to go higher. Whatever you're doing, yes, you know that you've achieved success, and you need to keep going higher. Just to add to what you just said this morning. Yes, and
I think you are just like Stella said. Even if you have achieved success, there is room for improvement. You must continue, so that so many people will smile when your name is mentioned. At this point, we are going to let you know, acquaint you with events taking place within our environment, and Stella Okechukwu is set with the news update.
Alright, on the news segment of Good Morning Abia this morning, the presidency said that they will not react to the speculation that President Donald Trump plans to ban Nigeria alongside other countries from entering the United States through visa restrictions by next week. There were strong speculations in the US media on Thursday that President Donald Trump intends to add Nigeria to a list of 7 countries for visa restriction. The countries are Belarus, Eritrea, Myanmar, Nigeria, Sudan, and Tanzania. Report says the list of countries was not final and could yet change. According to the Wall Street Journal, some countries will face bans only on some visa categories. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media Publicity, Garba Shehu, said the government was aware of the news but will only respond when it is made official. Following the implementation of the relocation of business activities from the popular East Gate in Umuahia by the Abia State government, different reactions have come from Ubani, where most of the traders were asked to relocate. These reactions were captured by MCL News as our correspondent Nchetachi Chukwaja paid a visit to the market and now reports.
It has been weeks since traders at the popular East Gate were asked to relocate to Ubani Market and other markets within Umuahia. With the relocation, one would expect that commercial activities at the Ubani Market would have bolstered. This appears not to be the case, as the state of the market is still the same. There are still many unoccupied shops within the market, with some overgrown by weeds and showing signs of disrepair. The chairman of the market, Chukuma Akebu, comments on this.
Shop will do many, more than 8,000 shops there. 9 will be in the barrier. Military Habia, Habara Chikurazo, Laurioba, Urioba, Nazo, Urioba, and Amuzuku. But part of it,
traders at the market expressed divergent views as to the level of patronage with the relocation of the Eastgate market.
So if you look at it from the perishable goods and food condiments, it has improved a lot. When you look at other parts of the market, where most of them does not have traders at gate 10, we are still having slow growth there.
You see how we are sitting down here, there is no patronage. Okay. There is no difference. I have not seen even in my zone here. We have about 247 shops occupied by 70. But the remaining one, I have not seen any person opening any shop, a new person coming into this my zone.
What when they down a provision line at your shop? If I know, I actually say I in auto actual hand. Then they gave me a shop, gave you, but somewhere too much people very well shop which are empty when they very well.
Come back in the gate, you did it. What do you know? I know what's I have done. I've been a choir, when then I was around. But the Mbembo, I think nobody. I was a shy on a line like this. When you become Abia, I got a town. So we had the short, we had each other.
A lot of people that we are not seeing is the people that own shop that left for Ishigate. So, but we thank God our customers are coming back to buy some materials from us.
These spaces were allotted to traders from the Eastgate market who deal on second-hand clothing. They say some of their fellow traders deserted the area for other markets as a result of low patronage.
We will come here. We will sell highest. We will only say 1,000 naira, morning till the night. Even transport money to come, transport money to go back. It's a problem. We are not selling anything. We are here only sleeping and sleeping. Nobody, if you watch around, you see nobody is passing.
Daddy, many be areba. Mana many anozigi. I want to quadano, and we are in ere. Here one a cool, no one will keep down on a fan about Porangani, the Quadatana or Baneba.
We normally stay at the gate from 8 or 7 a.m. in the morning till 10 p.m. But here is that you see, as soon as it's 3:30, everybody will just desert. And one thing is that once the whole place is being deserted now, customers cannot even find it funny, coming down here.
According to the traders, distance, numerous police checkpoints, poor road network, and the existence of nearby markets are some of the factors militating against the full compliance to the relocation order. Thus, if any positive change must be witnessed in Ubani market, these factors should be addressed by the state government. Nchetachi Chukwaja, MCL News.
The Islamic Movement of Nigeria, IMN, has reacted to rumors making the rounds that their leader, Sheikh Zaki, is dead. In a statement on its official Twitter page, the group's spokesman Ibrahim Musa on Wednesday urged Nigerians to disregard such stories, calling for his release. The group noted that his health is deteriorating. The group lamented that he has not been granted access to his doctors despite his deteriorating ill health. Since he was transferred to Kaduna prison, they called on the international community to mount pressure on the federal government to do the needful by allowing his doctors to examine him and eventually release him. Hiccups can be described as brief, irritable spasms of the diaphragm that can occur for a few seconds or minutes. They frequently last longer in normal individuals without any underlying medical problem. MCL News spoke with some medical practitioners on the causes and management of hiccups. Esther Ndugwe tells us more.
Hiccups are sudden involuntary contraction of the diaphragm muscle. As the muscle contracts repeatedly, the opening between the vocal cord snaps shut to check the flow of air and makes the hiccup sound. Irritation of the nerve that extends from the neck to the chest can cause hiccups. Although associated with a variety of ailments, hiccups are not serious and have no clear reason for occurring rarely, interference with eating and sleeping. Some medical practitioners who spoke to MCO News stated the causes of hiccups.
Hiccups can actually be somehow physiological, and at times it can also be pathological. Physiological hiccups. Now in this case, it is just because of that is normal lifestyle. Then also something like stroke can cause it. Then there are some also gastrointestinal diseases that can cause it. Then also in some respiratory tract infection can also cause it. Respiratory condition can cause it, like pleurisy. Pleurisy can also cause it.
Maybe you are trying to rush somewhere and just want to think eat fast, so you can just have this hiccup, or you take too much of alcohol or smoking and all that. Okay, it can also make you to have hiccup. Those ones are more like, they are not pathological. Okay, so in some cases whereby you actually need to you actually need to seek a medical care if that hiccup lasts for 2 days or more.
Most people have hiccups from time to time, and they usually resolve without treatment within few minutes. Rarely, there may be prolonged or chronic hiccups, which can last a month or more. Hiccups that last over 2 months are known as intractable hiccups. Medical practitioner who spoke to MCO News stated ways regular hiccups can be prevented, to include intake of enough water, moderation in drinking of alcohol, among others.
You can prevent it reducing alcohol intake. Then spicy food can be taken small at a time, and then with either cool drinks. Then preventing consumption of alcohol, and also you don't eat very fast. You eat gradually, small at a time. Then positioning, especially in case of children, positioning. The position that the child is, you can change the position. Then I think it will take care of that.
The chronic ones, those are the ones you see your doctor. Your doctor, there's a drug that will be injected into it to help to subside the hiccup. If it is a brain tumor, the tumor has to be removed. If it is due to stroke, you have to manage it. Okay. If it's due to some other things, kidney disease, has to be treated. Whatever it is that it causes, because your doctor evaluates you and pick out what the cause is causing the hiccup. Once it's treated, the hiccup will stop.
It has been advised that people should engage in regular intake of water and the need for an adequate medical checkup in order to avoid constant hiccups. Esther Ndowe, MCO News.
Reactions have trailed the recent verdict by the Supreme Court in Imo State. The reaction came from a guest on MCL TV breakfast program, Good Morning Abia, Barrister O'Neill, who expressed displeasure over the verdict. O'Neill said the verdict was not in tandem with the constitutions and the electoral laws of Nigeria. He urged the judiciary to live up to its responsibility of being an independent arm of government by dispensing justice of merit. Ruth Ohams tells us more.
The Supreme Court in its verdict sacked the incumbent governor of Imo State, Emeka Ihejoha, of the People's Democratic Party, and installed Hope Uzodinma of the All Progressive Congress, APC, as the governor of Imo State. The verdict has generated mixed reaction from Nigerians. The verdict was condemned by a legal practitioner on Good Morning Abia, MCR TV's breakfast program, saying the judgment lacked validity and was unconstitutional. He said, however, there was hope, as the Supreme Court can overrule his judgment if a judicial review is sought by the PDP.
A situation where you give a judgment that is cancerous in such a way that nobody will make reference to that judgment. A judgment of that court should be such that will serve as a precedent for other lower courts. For the situation where no lower court will look at it and take it, it is the one of all judicial precedents known to law. It is left for PDP to put together its formidable legal team, okay, to approach the court for judicial review. A court can set aside its own judgment.
He went further to say that the judiciary appears to have been compromised. He also lamented the interference of the executive and the maltreatment of justices as the reason for the crisis in the legal system of the country.
The way it is now, I think it has been blown out of proportion that even the list of a common man in the society now understand that the judiciary has lost its credibility. You see, the level of intimidation that is coming from the executive is so much that, see, it will take a judge who is ready for a suicide mission currently to be courageous. That is, constitutionally, they say the moment you are a judge, you should be entitled to this security, and that those security are not subject to the discretion of the executive. That is the only way. Because some of them who are courageous, when they see threats, they will leave. They tell you that's how you see they will now want to dance to whatever tune. Because life is sacrosanct, life is once. So, but our administration should be able to look at these things and even give them with enough security.
He urged justices and members of the judiciary to go back to the drawing board, as the judiciary is the last hope of the common man. He also urged the legislative arm of government to strengthen the institutions and make laws that protect and empower the judiciary to be more independent, as these will go a long way in ensuring that confidence is once again restored in the judiciary. Ruth Ohams, MCL News.
The Nigerian Center for Disease Control on Wednesday said there is no specific cause for the deadly coronavirus yet. A statement released by the center said the NCDC is working closely with the World Health Organization to monitor the spread of the virus. He added that the Federal Ministry of Health has been placed on alert and has increased screening measures at the nation's point of entry. Cases of coronavirus were first reported a few weeks ago in Wuhan, China, and were thought to have been contacted from animals. It was later established that transmission from human to human is possible. According to NCDC, there is no specific treatment for the disease. However, many of the symptoms can be treated. Therefore, treatment is based on the person's clinical condition. In addition, supportive care for infected persons can be highly effective. It further said NCDC is currently coordinating a multi-sectoral technical group that is assessing and managing the risk of importation to Nigeria. It is in close communication with WHO, which is monitoring the situation globally. WHO is in direct communication with the government of China and other affected countries and has released technical and travel guidelines. NCDC called on travelers from Nigeria to Wuhan, China, to avoid contact with sick people, animals, alive or dead, and animal markets. It added, travelers from Wuhan to Nigeria may be asked questions upon arrival by the Port Health Services unit at points of entry about symptoms of illness and travel history. They are advised to report immediately to NCDC if they feel ill after a trip to Wuhan. The center said to reduce the risk of spread of the virus, members of the public should wash their hands regularly with soap under running water and to cover their mouth and nose properly with handkerchiefs or tissue paper when sneezing or coughing. That's much we can take on today's news segment on Good Morning Abia. We'll go for a break. When we come back, more news headlines will be coming your way, but that will be on our newspaper review. Do stay with us.
One-stop breakfast show on TV. There is only one place where good taste, quality and top hygiene blend to provide classic snacks and food. Apple fried chicken. Our yummy meals glide from continental to African, all freshly prepared in a modern, healthy environment. Take a look. At Apple Fried Chicken Center, children are top priority, and so we provide exciting play centers for them, giving parents sweet, relaxing moments alone. Our outdoor catering services for all events remains the rave of the moment. Now, have you tried the Apple Special Cakes and Shawarma? Oh la la! Walk into any of our outlets in Abia, Calabar, Uyo and Umuahia and give yourself a treat. Or better still, call our hotlines 080-868-77445 or 070-3963-449 or 090-3046-2362 or send us a mail. Apple Fried Chicken. Experience the taste.
Hello, my name is Ruthie. You can now watch your favorite TV station, MCO TV, anywhere you are around the world by following the simple procedure. Step 1. Go to Play Store and download the Next TV app. Step 2. Look out for the Next TV logo. Step 3. Sign in with your email, Facebook or Google account. Step 4. Click on Entertainment to view MCO TV ARC TV channel. Step 5. Swipe to find MCO TV ARC TV. Enjoy 24 hours entertainment at your comfort. You can follow us on all our social media handle on Twitter at twitter.com/@MCO TV Network, on YouTube at MCO TV YouTube/MCO TV Network, or Facebook web.facebook/MCO TV Network.com, or you can WhatsApp on the number 080-330-03356. For more information on MCO TV app, please call the MCO TV customer care number 070-329-80089, 080-5722-2040, or 080-3737-3985. MCO TV, the world is your home.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say wetin man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, dem go talk. Wetin make you do for this world? I say do the things where we carry for heart. Now so one time. I be not be so.
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCL TV.
Welcome to MCL Customer Care Service Information. Please listen to the following instruction upon observation of any of the following on your television screen. Bad signal. Kindly check the positioning of your antenna or system wire connection. Initial card failure or card error. Please remove and bring your smart card to the office. Once your subscription airtime expires, program rewrite or time expired will appear on the screen of the TV set. If you pay for the renewal of your subscription, please leave it on channel 7 for a couple of minutes. When there is a heavy thunderstorm, unplug power cord from the socket. For more inquiry, call us on 080-3737-3985 or in Homa on 080-6382-0685. Or you can call the technical department 081-4018-1602 or visit our accredited agents around the state.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Chukwu na-enye karịa onye ọbụla. Chukwu na-enye karịa onye ọbụla. Ọ na-enye ka ndị ọrụ bekee na-eri ikpege n'ọnwa n'ọnwa. Ọ na-enye o, ọ na-enye o, ọ na-enye o.
Hello, my name is Buchi. Keep watching MCL TV and don't go away.
Aye, God has given you victory. Aye, He has given you victory. Aye, God has given you victory. Aye, He has given you victory. What's up, people? It's your boy E-Ben, ministering to God's children, and you're watching MCL TV. Don't touch that dial. Peace. I love you.
MCL, the word in your home. Thanks for your patronage of our programs and services, for which we say thank you. We remind you that at all times you have the right to quality broadcasting. It belongs to you as well as the right to lodge complaints on broadcast materials or conduct of any broadcast station.
MCL TV is open and receptive to your commendations, complaints and criticisms, as such comments strengthen and make us serve you better. Feel free at all times to address your reactions to National Broadcasting Commission, Enugu Zonal Office, Current Drive, Independent Layout, Enugu. You can email us at nbcenuguzone@yahoo.com or Modern Communications Limited, number 9B Obibo Avenue, Aba. MCL TV, the world in your home.
Stop breakfast show on TV. One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate on our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say wetin man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, dem go talk. Wetin make we do for this world? I say make we dey do the things wey we carry for heart. Na so world want am. Abi no be so?
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCL TV.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
This famous European monarch of his times during the 17th century, King Charles II of England. The king had to himself one of the most valuable treasures of the times. This famous coin made of gold, called Guinea gold, which was produced from the ancient gold mines in West Africa, called São Jorge de Elmina. The English king in 1653 auctioned the Guinea gold, and proceeds from the auction sales he had used to launch his famous United Royal Adventurers Traders to Africa Company, the URATAC. The adventurer traders were mostly ex-servicemen of the British Royal Navy. They had the king's mandate to go to the Gulf of Guinea, as West Africa was known then, and prospect for blacks, ivory, and gold. The blacks, if found at the historic Gulf of Guinea, were to be shipped as slaves to the new world of ancient America, where their manual labor were of great demand at the fields of the newly discovered America. The ivories of the elephant teeth, rare products in Europe, but very much cherished by the noble class, if found at the historic Gulf of Guinea, to be brought to Europe, including the precious stone gold, known to be in great abundance at the Gulf of Guinea. Portuguese sailors and their traders to 15th century West Africa had blazed the trail with their early mining colony known as São Jorge Elmina of present-day Federal Republic of Ghana. They were the earliest Europeans to harvest gold from this resourceful region of Africa as early as the 15th century. Seventeenth century English cartographers had divided the historic Gulf of Guinea into 3 trading coasts to enable the Royal Adventurers traders to Africa locate the items with ease. The Black or Slave Coast, for their rich resource of able-bodied men and women, were mostly in the areas of present-day Nigeria. Boni, Buguma, Brass, Badagry, Calabar, and Calabari, all in what is today the southeast and southwestern shores of Nigeria. Ivory Coast, a forest area in the Gulf of Guinea, where these wild beasts were known to be in great abundance. It is still known as such till date, but in French, Côte d'Ivoire. And then the Gold Coast of modern-day Republic of Ghana, at that time with her large deposits of gold. It was from here that the gold from its mines was used in producing King Charles II of England's gold coin. His traders were said to prospect for more of the gold from this region. At the slave coast, with centuries of slaving nations by renowned English slave merchants to the west coast of Africa during the 17th century. Many of them captains of their own slave ships from the days of Sir John Hawkins, the first English slaver to Africa, to this Liverpool-based slave merchant trader, Captain Hugh Crow, with over 10 slaving missions, to this town of Boni in Rivers State, Nigeria.
One-stop breakfast show on TV.
Welcome back to the program. This is Good Morning Abia, and at this point we are going to review some national dailies, and I'm going to do that with a professional colleague who writes for the New Telegraph. He is Ifani Emmanuel. Emma, thanks for joining us on the program.
Good morning, James.
Yes, out there. Okay, this morning we are starting with the Daily Sun. The Daily Sun, beside the masthead of the paper, is talking about the reconstruction of Enugu International Airport. Enugu Airport ready soon, Minister. Enugu Airport ready soon, Minister. Ukwani commences the demolition of illegal structures. That story is on page 12. And on the Imo election, Imo governorship election, Imo, why we accepted materials tendered by Ozadema Supreme Court. Go to page 12 and find out what the Supreme Court is saying. Federal government, governor strike deal on new Southwest outfit to formalize Amotokun. That story is on page 40. Amotokun is the outfit, is the secret outfit launched by the 6 Southwest governors. Page 40. $1.1 billion Malabu scam. Advocate 6 others plead not guilty. Page 12. Panic grave states as Lassa fever deaths rise to 54. Doubt health report is on page 6. Governors on red alert. IPOB kicks over blocking of Kano's Facebook account. The story is on page 8. Rivers vows to deal with sanitation defaulters. That story on sanitation is on page 39. Peter Obi and integrity deficit. This article is a rejoinder to an earlier one written by a guest artist, and this rejoinder was written by Joe Martins Uzodike in the column Public Forum. Peter Obi and integrity deficit. On page 44 there is an article there entitled Arms Proliferation, Border Closure and Customs Contract Scam. Page 44. Dure Onobele is on page 47, and today he wrote an article with the title Fragile Handle with Care. Fragile Handle with Care. Page 47. The next paper we are going to review this morning is the New Telegraph. The New Telegraph has a lead story with the title Transparency International EFCC Buhari supporters disagree on corruption rating. CPI, Nigeria's second most corrupt country in West Africa. Anti-Graft Agency, BNO, your narrative has no basis. PDP, we have been vindicated by report. Page 5. Lassa fever fear grips Nigeria. Over 30 die as disease spreads to 9 states. Governors take measures to tackle epidemic. Page 8. Ile Arobo, Saraki-wise Kwara government 6 out of court settlement. The story is on page 7. Local government dissolution. You can't double it or your matter. Makinde tells Attorney General of the Federation. That story is on page 11. Dangote Foundation empowers 34,000 women in Katsina, page 36. Amotokun, federal government, Southwest governors reached truce on operations. Malami, regional security arrangement not backed by law, page 6. Federal government invests 1.7 trillion naira on privatized power firms, and despite this colossal amount, 80 million Nigerians lack access to electricity. After spending 1.7 trillion naira, 80 million Nigerians still cannot have access to electricity. And the picture story we have on the front page of the Telegraph, there you see Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State and his Sokoto State counterpart Aminu Tambuwal at the National Economic Council meeting, which was held yesterday. There also you see Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State and Hope Uzodinma, who is the governor of Imo State, at the same meeting. Doctors whose friends. The writer of this article is Michael West on Friday. Doctors whose friends. There is a sports story which is on page 37. Ibeba Abogorio tip Eagles to qualify, page 37. The last but not least this morning is The Nation. The Nation is still talking about Operation Amotokun in its lead story. Operation Amotokun, federal government governors strike deal. Secret outfit aligned with community policing. That story starts from page 1 and continued on page 8. Federal government blows 1.7 trillion naira on power sector in 3 years. Enugu hit as Lassa fever death toll rises to 38. Enugu hit as Lassa fever death toll rises to 38. The story starts from page 1 and continued on page 7. About the mandate of the nation, government rejects GI's anti-craft rating. Agency rates Nigeria low, page 41. Court declines order stopping Oshomole as national chairman of APC, page 10. Insecurity, Khan 6 sack of security chiefs, arrest Meaiti Allah leaders, page 8. Is there not a cause? Is there not a cause? The writer of this essay, which is on the back page of The Nation, is Shegun Badegesin. And here is a passage from this essay written by Shegun. But an obvious Attorney General of the Federation can only see illegality in the efforts of the people to secure themselves and their land. Something must be terribly wrong here. And with that, we have come to the end. Right now, we are going to take a look at some of the major news items in the papers we have reviewed. Emma, this morning, let us start with the Daily Sun. And the Daily Sun is talking about Amotokun, launched by the governors of the Southwest Geopolitical Zone on January 9th, 2020. And now it seems that the issue has been settled.
Well, it shouldn't be an issue in the first place. It shouldn't have been. So before the Attorney General went to the media to make the whole noise about the formation of Operation Amotokun, he should have consulted the Southwest governors. Give me the reason behind the formation of this. What do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? He could have seen their opinion. But he went to the media and started shouting about the illegality of the people. Let me tell you something. In Nigeria, we value some things, and our homeland is one of the things some of us hold sacrosanct. And when you see the sacrosanctity of your homeland being abused by some certain elements who do not value those things, you must find a way to secure yourself. I have said it a number of times that the security of life of every human being should not be placed on the certain exclusive list. Because if people whom you sign the social contract with, okay, I'm going to drop my arms, thereby arm the police to secure me. If the police fail to do it, the people have the right to say, this is the way we want to secure ourselves. So, people call it an issue, but I don't see any issue in the formation of Operation Amotekun because it is the decision of the people, and they have agreed to be in line with the federal government policy of community policing. That is what the AGF should have done in the first place. Consult them, seek their opinion. And Southwest governors are not fools. Look at most of them are lawyers. Rotimi Akeredolu, they are not kids. They know what they are doing, and when they tell you that this thing is in accordance with Nigerian law, they understand what they are saying. It's just that the people they are dealing with, the AGF never consulted them. For me, they said they did the proper consultation. They said they consulted the Inspector General of Police. If you want the meeting yesterday, the AGF and the Inspector General of Police, I believe they were present at the meeting. That is what they should have done in the first place before raising alarm. It's a good policy, I must tell you.
Okay, talking about Operation Amotekun, do you see it as an indictment on the security architecture of the country at present? Is it an indirect way of telling the federal government, look, you have failed in the area of security, we can now defend our homeland?
Nobody should tell federal government indirectly that they have failed. They should tell them directly. Let me tell you something. The jiggly-pockly security architecture of Nigeria, where you arrange the security service chiefs to come from a certain section of the country and a certain religious base, and some lives are placed at risk. It is a huge statement to the federal government that we need better security in Nigeria. So what these people have done is, to me, federal government shouldn't protest about Operation Amotekun, because Operation Amotekun has actually come to help ameliorate some areas that the police cannot cover. It has come to settle some issues that the soldiers cannot handle. So calling it an indictment is not even, it's a straight statement that we need a better security.
Okay, now talking about power supply, there is a reporter in the New Telegraph which happens to be a paper.
Okay.
There you see that federal government has invested 1.7 trillion naira on electricity in the past 3 years, and yet 80 million Nigerians lack access to electricity.
Well, I will not dispute the reporter and the research they made in bringing out that 80 million Nigerians lack electricity. But I believe that if we go deep into the research, we may find out that we have more than 120 million Nigerians who lack electricity. Because when you say that people have electricity, it's not just about seeing lights shining on your bulbs and having your televisions on. Having electricity is talking about constant electricity. We don't have it. So saying that it's 80 million, I think is an understatement. And another issue is that the money they say they have spent on the electricity in 3 years. Now you begin to ask yourself, what was the essence of the privatization that took place some years back? How can they removed the PSCN and brought EEDC in Southeast here. They have so many other discos in different geopolitical zones of Nigeria. Now, these are private companies owned by private individuals. Why is the government still spending money on electricity? That means we made a huge mistake in that privatization, and it's high time they reviewed whatever agreement they had. If it's better to give it back to the government, perfect, let them manage it better, because these private individuals are doing absolutely nothing, especially in the Southeast here. We must be clear about it. I live here and I stay here. I know that companies are folding because of issue of electricity. You cannot be running a company by diesel every day and you expect something to move smoothly. So the money they are saying they have spent on electricity, for me, is from, I will call it a blatant baladash. It doesn't make sense to me because we are not seeing the fruit.
Is it a question of corruption?
Wow, a good question. Is there anything that happens in Nigeria that doesn't have a link to corruption? Almost everything that goes wrong in this country must be linked to corruption. We have people who have itching fingers. When people have itching fingers, they tend to they have this the tendency of taking what belongs to others. So if you call it corruption, I believe it, because these guys are not ready to solve this problem. It's not that they are not passing through the same thing. They are passing through it. That's why when you go to their houses, most of them can spend money to have diesel running generators. Some of them even have the money to apply solar all over their buildings. What about the poor ones? What about the artisans? What about the people who does menial things like barbing salon and all that? They don't think about them. So everything that goes wrong in Nigeria is about corruption, and corruption has eaten into the fabric of this country, and we are not fighting it. Forget about the noise.
Okay, still talking about corruption. Nigeria has been rated as the second most corrupt country in West Africa. This is based on a report by Transparency International. Now, does it mean that the war against corruption is not making the desired impact?
Well, if you can recall, the Minister of Information and Communication once, sometimes a few years back, made a statement that they are fighting corruption and corruption is fighting back, things like that. But the reality of the matter is that if Nigeria is rated as the second most corrupt country in West Africa, we should be crying now. We should be crying. Because you and I know that out of the 16 or 15 countries in West Africa, you have countries like Mali, countries like Sierra Leone, countries like Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Conakry, Guinea-Bissau, and you are rated as second among the 15 or 16 countries. You should be shedding tears. But they didn't do a wrong thing, because we know we are in trouble in this country. We are in a serious mess. You will see governors in some states in Nigeria. People don't see that as corruption. You owe workers to 10 months, 11 months, 13 months. You saw what happened in Osun when the last governor that left Osun. You saw what is there. You see what is happening in so many states. We shouldn't be pointing when we say corruption. We are not talking about stealing money. Anybody who denies a worker who worked very well his or her wages is a corrupt practice. So if we are rating us second, I think is it corruption in the true sense of it? Not payment of workers' salary. Yes, I see it as corruption, because that money that you're supposed to give them, where did you take it to? Is it not corruption? It is. See, that was a mistake that people made when President Jonathan said that, like, he was trying to point out that stealing is not the only corruption.
Yes.
People pointed it out that he was trying to say that stealing is not corruption. The thing is that the word corruption has many things linked to it. If you go deep, anything you do abnormally without doing it the way it's supposed to be to deceive another person is corruption. Anything you do dubiously to achieve it, you brought your own stratagem in order to get a certain answer.
Yes,
it's corruption. So we must begin to point at corruption. The FCC should be looking for people who are denying people their rights. It is corruption.
Okay, thank you. On the Enugu Airport, Enugu International Airport, there is another promise by the Minister of Aviation. He is saying that Enugu Airport will be ready soon. Good news.
Good news. Good news for those of us in the south is because people who fly, they have suffered.
Yes.
They are still suffering. You cannot be going to, let me say, somebody is heading to Nsukka.
Yes.
The person flies from Abuja to Owerri. And then from Owerri, the person is supposed to have another 3 hours journey from Owerri back to Nsukka. That is not sensible. So please, if the Minister for Aviation is promising us that is the perfect news everybody in the south is need to hear, because it will solve a lot of things. Enugu Airport, whether anybody likes it or not, Enugu remains the head of Eastern Nigeria.
Yes, yes.
That is our main center. Every Igbo man
is the political capital of Southeast Nigeria.
Of course, it remains. If you still go there, you see the evidence. It remains. Other cities were not as planned as.
Is it because that you are from Enugu?
I am not from Enugu. I am not from Enugu. Those who know me very well know that I am not from Enugu. I am not from Enugu, but I am speaking the truth.
Yes, yes.
If you go to MNA, where the airport is located, I think there are some works going on. They are clearing some places to expand the runway, to make it perfect, and I can't wait, because everybody in the southeast need that airport to be ready. It is our main airport. Owerri is just the second.
Yes.
That's it.
Now, the last issue we are going to discuss is in the area of health, the spread of Lassa fever. As we speak, it has spread to about 9 states, and 30 persons have lost their life as a result of that virus.
30 persons, those are the people we can account for.
Yes.
The truth is that we don't take proactive measures in this country. You know, this is not the first time we are experiencing this issue of Lassa fever. But what we have, just on your own, take your time. You are in Abia. Visit the environmental health office at Abia South. Go there and ask questions. See, there are some things that these people are supposed to be going around to sensitize our people about. We all know where the source of Lassa fever. We know that rodents cannot stay where the environment is clean.
Yes.
Now, the environmental health, I think it's the duty of the environmental health agency to sensitize the people on the issue of cleaning our environment. Are you getting it? Okay. There are some things I can't say on television, but go around the Abata Hall. Go around there from that Oshendo Park heading to York. You will see where a septic tank was emptied and feces are pouring around that place towards that area where people are selling and they are comfortable. You may think I'm not going to inhale it, I will have Lassa fever, but you may contract other diseases that are not Lassa fever. So if this thing is happening, I remember how the former Minister for Health tackled the issue of Ebola then. I think the current Minister for Health needs to be more proactive. They need to liaise with the states. We are talking about 9 states now because those ones have reported what happened in their area.
Yes.
What about the other states who might be trying to hold it on, who may not even have data of what is happening in their villages and some rural areas? So Nigerians must always make their leaders to think ahead before something happens. This issue will be tackled now. Everybody will go and relax, hoping on God. You know, we like hoping on God. My health is in the hands of God. It is not my portion. It will never happen to my family. If you don't do the proper thing, God will not listen to you. We have a problem. We have this concept that everything will happen when God wants it. But that is not the way it's supposed to be. Because if we mess up, God may not be there to save us. Because we need to tackle our problems first before calling on the Almighty to now intervene where we cannot function properly. That's it. They have to be proactive. Tackle it the way Ebola was tackled. Ebola disappeared in Nigeria. You know what happened then? You know when Olegushi was the minister?
Yes.
Okay, you know how those things were, that issue was handled. So these people should tackle it before it spreads to 20 states. Because we are likely going to see that if nothing is done.
Okay, thank you very much, Ifani Emmanuel. Ifani writes for the New Telegraph newspaper. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome, sir.
And with that, we have come to the end of this segment of our program. We are going to take a break, and when we return, it will be time for the conversation corner. And today, we are going to talk about fire outbreaks during the Harmattan season. Stay tuned.
Stop breakfast show on TV.
Do not deface Abia State with posters. Do not defecate in our streets. Do not litter Abia State.
My brothers, I say wetin man go do for this world where people no go talk. If you chop,
Do not urinate in public places.
you no chop, dem go talk. Wetin make we do for this world? I say make we dey do the things wey we carry for heart. Na so world want am. Abi
Keep Abia State clean. This message is brought to you by MCL TV.
Stop breakfast show on TV.
Of Abia are related. Abia turned out to become the commercial capital of the state and the heart of Igbo land owing to its location. During the colonial period, the two communities, Abia had rich history of resisting tyranny and oppression. This was demonstrated in 1929 when Abia women took to the streets to protest one of the obnoxious policies of the colonial master. They said no to the imposition of tax on women. This was the Abia Women demonstration, which happened 14 years after the amalgamation of Northern and Southern Protectorate by Lord Lugard. The action of the women who at that time had no access to Western education but knew their rights might have laid a foundation for the never say die spirit of Abia people. The founder of Ohazu was Azu, who was said to be a hunter. According to history, Azu and his brother Abba migrated from Umunoha in Isialangwa North local government area. Azu had a large family of 12 children, while Abba had 7 children. Azu's 6 children are the villages that make up Itito Hazun Autonomous Community in Abasa local government area. The 6 villages are Amofuro, Umudike, Umumba, Umose, Amoba and Umupolu. The people do not intermarry as they are from the same ethnic descent.
The names are very popular in Nigeria, even across the other parts of the world. Anybody coming to Nigeria would like to visit the name or visit Abba. Abba had 7 children. Have Zukwaba, have Oboda, have Buku, have Mokochi, have Asohaja, we have Ososo, which is today Ososo and Eziama. If you count, there's 7 villages. And today Ososo and Eziama is in Abanot. The remaining 5 villages of Abba is in Abasas. I have said that others have 12 ancient males. So I've named them to include Ndiego, Amofu, Umumba, Umabai. Have Mogul, have Hodge, have Mos, Arakali, have Obohas, and Obohas, have Mint, have Munition. These were the 12 villages of Obohas originally. But today, apart from Etidianas, which has retained 6 ancient villages, other villages today of Ohas and Aba are autonomous communities.
Eze Ishmael Nnapu, a local practitioner, is the traditional ruler of the community.
And our migration, like I said, is from Isialang. The names of the villages of, in fact, Abano has originated from Isialang North, local government area. My own grandfather was a treasurer at Ogwalang on behalf of other people of Ngwaland. All that Ngwa people were doing was at Ogwalang. That place still exists today as the ancestral home of Ngwa people. So we came from, I would say, Isialang, after coming from, earlier from, that's the existing, that has been the history of the Ngwa people.
A Titi Ohas was carved out from Ohas ancient kingdom in 1998 by the military administration of retired Colonel Moses Fasanya. The community shares boundaries with Ndegoro, Umogele, Abuku, Oguda, Ohabiam, and Oureni. Owing to the nature of his calling, as on the founder of Ohas imbibed the culture of saving against unforeseen circumstance, he might have learned this worthy virtue naturally or through his association with other hunters. In order to encourage other members of his community to imbibe the saving culture, Azun established Thrift and Saving Society known as Oha. Oha means everybody in Igbo language. The society attracted people from neighboring communities. The members christened the Service Society Oha Azun, which means an association established by Azun, the founder of the present day Oha Azun. That was how the community got its name. Before the coming of the Europeans, the community was known as Oha Azun. It was the white man that changed the name to Oha Azun because of his inability to pronounce correctly the name of the community.
All of us are part and parcel of Ngwaland, Ngwa people. Like it's popular that Ngwa people migrated from Umuno before settling where we are now at Isialang. I've told you how the man Azu was our great ancestors and had an Isusu love known as Oha. And people say we're going to Oha. And so that gave us the name Ohas as was pronounced by the white men, and that's the name it answers still today. Ohas, but what it means is Ohas. It's a club of Ohas. We are going for that, so that took the name. That was how our name came up.
The history of Ohas will be incomplete without the popular market in Kongwa. The market was established by all the communities that make up Abano Ohas. It was established in the early 1960s. It was sited at Amofu village, which was the then headquarters of Abano Ohas. It was formerly known as Ahiampo, but the name was changed to Nkongwa to reflect all the communities that own the market. At present, the market is jointly owned by the people of Amofu and Abuku, and it has not been taken over by the government. Nkongwa can be said to be one of the oldest markets in Aba. It has several sections, but the most popular is the furniture section. The furniture section includes those that specialize in the building of gaskets. The market owes its popularity to the gasket section. It attracts customers from various parts of the southeast.
The market is a market owned by Abano Ohas people, entire Aba and North. We were brothers. Up till today, we are brothers. The Congo market is popular because we produce the finest coffin. Any type, just name it. And they will manufacture it for you. It's the people that produce and sells those coffins. Yes. Produced and marketed at Nkongo market.
Mbafara Ibozu na Nkongo Otego. Bora ikwuru Nkongo. Ile futere okwu Ibozu dutoro ihe eji mara ebe a. Otego ndị nna ya mere ya ka ọ dị otu ahụ. So mụ na ndị agaghị akọrọ ndị ihe mere oji na-adị otu ahụ ndị mmadụ. Kama na mma na Nkongo ekpe ha Nkongo afa. Ibozu ị ga-akpọtara ya. Dutoro ihe eji mara Nkongo. Here is the major place we are producing caskets. So far as Abia is concerned, we are the major producers of caskets. We do supply to Owerri, Omaha, Port Harcourt, Onitsha. They do come here and buy our caskets. So the casket has already taken our name at Okonga here, because we are here is the major place we are producing it.
Kande, Mande, Omaha, Owerri. Eba ka dey shabu ero dia we na happen na Port Harcourt. Even on Saturday motor na be na.
The major challenge facing the people of Itito house and traders, especially gasket makers at Nkongo market, is the poor state of Oboya road. The road leads to other food producing communities and has remained in a poor condition for several years. Accessing Oboya road during the rainy season is difficult. One may need a canoe to do that whenever it rains. During the wet season, some of the residents are sacked from their homes as houses are submerged by flood. Many have relocated to other areas owing to perennial flooding.
When we are coming through Oboya, we see that we don't have road here. Coming down to Ozumba or Hazu, the road that links to other cities or towns, we don't have any road here. Even Port Harcourt road. No, we are just in cage here because we are no longer seeing people coming from far because of the road. Formerly, we do have customers coming from Aloji, Area, even this thing we are working here. Our Rata people, timber markets are coming here to buy from us. They are selling timbers, but we are the ones producing everything. So they are coming here to buy. But our problem now is we cannot come through Orata to this place. No road network. You cannot come from Olingas, Abai or Bohin or to this place. So we are just in cage. We are having a shortage of members here. As you can see, if you move around the market, you will see some shops are open. Due to the road network, people are leaving the market. Not only the market, people living around this old Oboya road. All of them are just packing out because what flood did us last year here. If government did not come for our intervention, I don't know our fate this year.
The only thing that will make us happy is that Oboya road is through. Then we are asking for their taxes. People will be happy to pay. But nothing is done. Okay, the governor on inception of his administration promised to reconstruct Ibero Road, Ibero House Road. That's from Uba Road, Market, around there's a road they are building that will connect Nkongo through Ozumba, connect Cemetery, and just a ring road like that. But we've not seen them during the dry season. We've not seen the contractors inside. And people's houses have been demolished. So that has been done. Nothing has been done. That is why people are crying and say, since if you know you are not doing it, you should have left our house as it is than after destroying the houses, the whole thing remains like that. It's unfair.
Etitiong-Hazun is one of the densely populated areas on the outskirts of Aba. It has a population of over 100,000 people. It does appear that the people are only remembered during an election year. After the casting of ballots and a winner emerges, the people are forgotten. For instance, the solid state of Oboha Road has remained an issue of electioneering.
During election period, they will remember that our area is thickly populated. They will come for our votes. It's merely after their winning, they neglect us, which is very bad. So we want them to change their minds and repair Oboha Road. Just give it a facelift. We don't say embark on now because they are complaining of money. But when they see money, they can come and reconstruct the road. Like I told you now, it has created a barrier between Aba South and Oboha local government area. If Oboha Road is in order, the development originally when Niger card people during the military era, in the one era when Oboha Road was first near the car road, people were coming to Aba, were living at Oka and coming to Aba. I used to ride 15 minutes from here to Akwete. So, but we don't see ourselves over now. And the farmers, instead of coming to Aba, they prefer going to Port Harcourt because of the road. So it's not happening with us.
Past administrations usually place emphasis on the rehabilitation of roads within the heart of the city since the return of constitutional democracy in 1999. Most of the roads within the city center are in fairly good condition. Those on the outskirts of the town are forgotten.
So I'm not too much. You never knew the only brother who didn't come like you. Even I can't buy you in Cambo. And that's not an I go better. Where the time, where met the time now? You can't get December. Up rocker. I look at if I tell me, I want to go bring a billion a customer court or each person 50,000, 70,000. I look at that for beer and out.
I mean, a matter of some businesses, some houses only go affect already. Because when you're not now, you will qualify now because of a game again, one thing on the other, GDP. If not, another apple, Ghana, try big at the true alive in case Mizuo. Because him and I would do me. You are home to Uzodi. But in the dry season, you get your money to Uzodi. Unless I'm the Mizuo. PAG will marry to Oboda and on the Ammo State in here. She ready. My local government town. Keba on the hair. All man decide there. Million years ago, so well. Million, John Martins million to touch on ever. Because you know, but in her ever. We are not because of a million, I do ever need. Can the other just wear pota? Whether what is Yaja? Now you could break over that wherever. Do to him million. Open your major one car or do to me. So millions wherever you are like ever.
Oh, I never. It was I no, almost a chief cider. The pot in about why another is why. And then I chose a apple, their boss. Unless he was the Abuteria, we came with another baby.
There is anger in this part of the state over the failure of successive and present administration to repair Oboha Road.
Now that they have removed the refuse on the road, we want them to come and fill the potholes If they fill the potholes and pour the hard costs, and then we will be relieved. The road will be more trouble until when the government will be prepared to reconstruct the road. So we are appealing to our governor, the listening governor too, to KCL Victory Pass, to help us.
Non-stop breakfast show on TV.
Yeah, welcome back. This is Good Morning Abia, and I want to apologize that we cannot bring you the conversation corner as a result of unforeseen circumstances, but we are going to show you another documentary entitled Soft Vengeance.
Non-stop breakfast show on TV.